Welcome back, everyone, to Icebreaker. We are so excited to be here with you to raise money to benefit the Women's Foundation of Minnesota's Immigrant Rapid Response Fund. Again, we've raised over $25,000 toward this cause, and we are so grateful to everyone who's donated. And we are excited to bring you the next run that is taking place in this marathon. This is Pokemon trading card game Any Percent Glitchless, a race between Pinecone and Toronite. So, folks, whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Threach. Hello, everybody. My name is Toronite, and we are very, very excited. A very rare special occasion of Pokemon TCG in a marathon, a race between myself and Pinecone606, which is the first time in almost 3 years that we've had a marathon race of Pokemon TCG. So without further ado, Pinecone, if you can introduce yourself.
Of course. Hi, everyone. I'm Pinecone606. I've been running Pokemon trading card games since 2020. The time really flies, and we'll be doing, the Any Percent Glitchless Bulbasaur and Friends deck speedrun route for Pokemon trading card game. Toro and I have both been running the category quite a lot over the years, and this should be a really exciting time. Really grateful to be joined by two of the best in the business, two great commentators.
Yeah, hi, I'm Raagentreg. You might know me from that one ESA run I did years ago. It's been a long time since I've run this game, but like riding a bicycle, you remember pretty much everything, except the route, but we've been given the route, so yeah. On to you, Stump.
Hey, I'm Stump. I can't wait to see this. Good luck.
But yeah, I think Pinecone and I are ready to go. We're starting from a fresh save file, so we have curated two names very apt for this event.
Yeah, you guys go ahead and... Oh yeah, you've got the names entered? Okay, cool. Well then, I'll count you down if tech is ready for a countdown. Alrighty. Good luck, people. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so immediately we're into the tutorial section of the TCG. Now, you'll see the text is going extremely slowly. That'll be cured in a minute. Normally, this would take more or less 8 minutes to complete the tutorial section. We timed it using a task one time, so that everyone starts after the tutorial section. However, just for you guys, we're going to show you one of 2 glitches that exist in Pokemon TCG. The one we're not showing today is Ace or Arbitrary Code Execution, because that's so busted it completes the game. No, what we're showing to you is a glitch that was found, 5 years ago or something? It was a while ago, which is called Duel Escape. Now, what they're going to do is they're just going to go into the duel. They're going to try and access a slot on the bench, I'll explain all of this a bit more later, that doesn't exist, causing the game to freak out and just say, oh, I don't know what's going on, let's just give them the win. We're only allowing this one as a demonstration of the glitch, because otherwise we'd be sitting here for 8 minutes and we'd be bored stiff. So, yeah, you'll see them doing some little bit of flashing lights here as they try to attempt the glitch. It's a little jank, to say the least, but yes. While they're doing that, Pokemon trading card game, if you know card games, like Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, it has a mana system, which is energy. Energy is attached directly to Pokemon, as opposed to a global resource like Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering. Pokemon is how you beat each other up for wins. First to 6 prizes, usually, is the winner, and you take a prize by knocking out a Pokemon. However, in the speedrun, we'd rather not resort to that if we can. We want to go for the other win condition that's notable, which is the one where we knock out all of the opposing Pokemon, which tends to be faster than taking all the prizes. There's some exceptions to this, but the less prizes we take, the better, and the faster things go. All right, so both of them have very much done the dual escape nice and cleanly. But that's the only real glitch that exists in the game. This game is remarkably stable for something that was made in 1990 whatever. It's been a while.
1998, I believe.
98.
So yeah, we're given this choice here to select a starting deck, and we're both choosing Bulbasaur and Friends, and that's because that starting deck gives us access to several key cards that will be featured throughout the run.
And one thing that I am personally going to do is going to do a very fancy RNG manipulation if I am...
Yeah, if you look here, I went to this computer to open a mailbox to get a booster pack. Toronite is going to try to get a better booster pack than me.
And essentially how this works is, while... I'll let Toro perform the metronome quickly, because this is a timing-based thing.
Yeah, let's see if I can... Oh, might have acted it out. That is fine. Ooh, beautiful.
That's a good one.
Nice.
So, essentially, what Toro was doing there was timing perfectly to open that mail. Now, the reason this works is every time you restart a Game Boy, it resets to the same RNG seed, and you'll get the same numbers every time. It's perfectly replicable if you're perfect on your timing. Secondly, the game only progresses when you're in the game progresses RNG in all states, but while you're in a menu in game or you're in a battle in game. We can use this to our advantage in several situations, but we'll come to that when we come to that. But that's essentially timing things perfectly to get the card we want in the packs. We've done so much research into what are in those packs, and depending on which order you open them in, and so you can do some very extended manipulations in order to get 2 or 3 or 2, 3, 4 cards that you really, really want. It can be really, really useful in a lot of situations, especially as we go later into the game.
I got an incredibly good seed. I got Dugtrio and a extra plus power, which is going to be massive. Having already 3 plus powers, one of, if not the best trainer card to have in the entire game.
Yes. Yeah. So the part of the game we're in now will be we want to beat the 8 gym leaders and get to the Elite Four and beat the Elite Four. But before we do that, there are several gym leaders that we need to beat in order to unlock those fights. Or not gym leaders, trainers. And so we're going through as many of those early game fights as we can do right now, and trying to win them as quickly as we can. I was able to just beat Jessica, and again, we want to win ideally with the condition where we knock out all of their Pokemon. So we want to start these duels with few to no Pokemon on the opponent's bench, and we'll see what we're able to do.
The reason why I try to manipulate a Dugtrio is because Dugtrio is going to be our win condition for the mid and most of the end game. And as you kind of saw in my first duel, I already got 2 extra Dugtrio, so I already got 4. I have the optimal setup for the end game already, as far as opponents are like having Dugtrios are concerned. So already setting up very, very nicely for me.
Then the great thing about those Dugtrios is they will come in handy in the mid game. Right now, you're seeing both runners running Hitmonchan. If you've ever played 1998 Pokemon trading card game, the original base set and co, you'll know that the big 3 were Hitmonchan, Electabuzz, and Scyther. They made a deck at the time which was called Haymaker. Very infamous deck. And they all work because they have relatively low energy costs for the amount of damage they do, and it's very efficient. Right now, we're going to be cruising through a few different clubs. We've already seen Jessica, which is a fighting trainer that's wandering around the land along with the others. We'll be going through the Grass Club, the Lightning Club, and the start of the Water Club with this Hitmonchan, because Hitmonchan hits for fighting. Fighting in this game counts as rock, ground, and actual fighting Pokemon, if you know the regular Pokemon game. And they will hit colorless Pokemon, which tend to be normal types, although there are some exceptions to this, and one other type, which I'm forgetting right now, electric, which is why the Lightning Club is so good for us to go through. There's one other benefit to going through these specific trainers really early, is we'll be opening a lot of booster packs of a certain type. Now, there are 4 types of booster pack in the game. The only one we really need to care about for the run is Coliseum packs, which is the, in quotes, base pack, which contains the best cards, full stop. And as you use the other packs, it's like Mystery, Jungle, and there's one more which I'm totally forgetting right now.
Evolution. Laboratory.
Lab. Is it 4 or 5? I can't. Anyway.
No,
There's no Jungle.
4.
Jungle's a real life pack.
No, Jungle's the real
there are 4
pack.
packs.
Yeah.
And while there's like a card or 2 in Mystery and Evolution that we sort of care about, 90% of the best cards in the game, and certainly the fastest cards in the game, are in Coliseum. So we start with those duels so that we can get the good cards sooner, so we can use them for as long as we can.
And it's really lucky for us that practically everyone that yields a Coliseum booster pack is weak to Hitmonchan, or we can beat relatively quick and relatively easily with Hitmonchan.
There's only 1 or 2 exceptions to this, and thankfully, on that note, all of these fights are obligatory. All of these Coliseum fights are obligatory. There are some of the clubs don't require you to beat all their trainers. Notably, there's the Psychic Club, the Science Club, because that's a thing, where you only have to defeat 1 or not even any, and the Fire Club as well. You don't need to fight any of the trainers in there. But other clubs like the Grass Club, the Water Club, and the Lightning Club require you to fight all of the trainers. So it's just extremely convenient and nice of the developers to think about us speedrunners in the future, because they were definitely thinking of that when they made the game.
1000%.
It really does work out, because we can tackle all of these easier duels at the very beginning and get the best cards. The gym leaders, then certainly the Elite Four, are going to be much more challenging duels for us, and so being fully equipped with the best cards early is going to give us a huge advantage.
Now, the biggest benefit of the deck they've chosen today is the Bulbasaur deck. It comes with specifically Hitmonchan, I believe 1 Dugtrio, and was it 2+ powers? Is that correct?
2+ powers.
Yes.
Yep.
And Electabuzz.
And it comes with Electabuzz as well.
Yeah,
this is one of the stronger of the 3 choices. It's widely regarded that Squirtle's the worst because it doesn't have a lot in it, but
It doesn't have Dugtrio or plus power, and Dugtrio is essentially a mandatory Pokemon for the speedrun.
Yeah, whereas Charmander does have Dugtrio, but it lacks Electabuzz and Hitmonchan. The other good side of the Charmander deck is Computer Search, a card we really want to see, because that is possibly the best card we can see outside of literally Dugtrio. Computer Search, very simple, discard 2 cards, and then search your deck for any card of your choosing. It just means it replaces itself as a plus power or a Dugtrio, or whatever we need it to be at whatever time. It's just an incredibly useful card that we can use at any time, which we miss out on choosing Bulbasaur deck. However, Bulbasaur...
Oh, just got one. Nice.
Brilliant. Yeah, well, there you go. Speak and you shall receive. Computer Search is very, very good, but Bulbasaur is a far more consistent deck, because the Charmander deck struggles with consistency in the early game. Not having Hitmonchan is a big loss in the early game. You get a lot of fights become a lot scarier because you're running Diglett instead of Hitmonchan. Diglett is not only weak to grass, which means you have to run Charmander alongside Diglett, which makes your deck even less consistent. But also, it's just Hitmonchan is such a beast in this early portion. It's probably about the first quarter of the game is done uniquely on Hitmonchan. That's how good it is. And it's even can see play later if you're lacking on Dugtrios.
Yeah, we'll also see it in the Psychic Gym in a little bit, and we'll explain that when it comes up. Mm-hmm. But one thing I do want to point out is that in the regular card game, you don't want to have a deck that only has 1 Pokemon in it. Because in the real card game, you give your opponents extra cards if you don't draw a basic Pokemon in your starting hand. Fortunately for us, that rule was not implemented here. So in our deck construction throughout the entire run, we will only be using 1 Pokemon or evolution line, with 1 exception, I believe. And that allows us to guarantee that we'll have the same Pokemon for every battle, which is super important.
Usually if we're including a second evolution line, it's for safety, or the one exception, which we'll come to in a minute. It's usually for safety because, especially when it comes to Diglett is incredibly frail in that it only has 30 hit points out of instead of Hitmonchan's 70. So having access to more Diglets, to more Pokemon, just to protect our own Diglett is very, very important at some points in the game, especially when it comes to the Grandmasters, the Elite Four. But for now, we're cruising along very well. We're pretty much neck and neck as far as I can tell. Both cruising along, coming to the end of the second last fight of the Hitmonchan section, and soon we'll be going into the Water Club, which includes such interesting deck construction as the game has shown. It is a product of its time in that the game devs tried their best, but they sort of run out of cards at some point. So they really stretch the limit of what's in the Water Club, what's in the Grass Club. It's a very creative deck building, shall we say.
Yeah, creative is a very, very good use of the word.
Yes. So earlier in the run, we fought one of the Grass Club people who did have Venonats in their deck. That is a grass, bug, but bug is grass in this game. It's like Venonat, okay, sure, but also had Eevee, before Leafeon was a thing, and Ditto and Porygon, those notable grass Pokemon. And we'll be soon coming up to a Water Club person who we don't like at all because she's one of the scariest early game fights. Because she has one half of the Haymaker deck. This is Amanda. She is terrifying. She can have Scyther, Omanyte, Jigglypuff, and Poliwag. We really do not want to see Scyther, because Scyther more or less hard counters Hitmonchan. This comes on to sort of weakness and resistance. Weakness in this game, if you hit something for weakness, you do double damage, nice and simple. But if you hit for resistance, so say Scyther, a bug flying type, resists fighting type, because fighting type was generalized as ground or fighting or rock. They said, okay, Scyther's going to resist fighting, you take 30 less damage. When Hitmonchan only does 20 damage on its first attack, it just doesn't do any damage to Scyther. So we really do not want to see Scyther if we're running Hitmonchan. But if we're running Charmander, it's fine to see Scyther. However, Poliwag becomes very, very scary as it can quickly knock us out. Thankfully, Toro seems to be on a runnable Amanda, and so is Pinecone. We've got okay Amandas, put it lightly.
I'm hanging on by the skin of my teeth. Unfortunately, Amanda's brought out all the fossils, all the dolls, and even if we knock them out, that does not count towards actually knocking out a Pokemon. But okay, good. Okay.
Yep. You'll see us resetting a lot throughout the run. At the beginning, we were resetting for a good outcome in a duel. Basically, if we see too many Pokemon on the opponent's bench, or if we get to an unwinnable situation, we just quickly soft reset and try again. Later in the run in particular, you'll see more taking advantage of a feature called Continue Duel, which is essentially like built-in save states for this game. It is a very cool way for the game to allow you to basically go back in time and return to your most recent decision within a battle. And we'll go over that more when it comes up, but that can allow us to manipulate the RNG or take advantage of new information that we have received.
Speaking of new information, if we have an opportunity once this fight is over, let me know, because I've got a few important announcements.
Oh, please, floor is yours.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I am so excited to let you all know that we have raised over $26,000. We have hit that next $1,000 milestone. And not only that, but we have also met the Metroid Fusion Randomize All Color Palettes incentive. We raised over $800 to make that possible. So thank you so much to everyone who donated.
It's great to hear that you're all donating. Keep it up. We love you guys. Keep it up. Keep donating for the good cause. In the meantime, we're noticing two very curious things have happened on stream. You might have noticed Pinecone fighting an Omastar and Toro fighting a Starmie. These are things we do not usually see, ever.
I literally did not know that Amanda had Omastar. Like, this has never come
I
up.
know this. I know practically every person's deck in this game. I completely forgot that I had to deal with a Starmie of all things.
I think I've seen that Omastar once.
Once total, right?
Yes.
Yeah, out of all the years of running the game, it does not come up very often. But now Toronite and I don't know exactly where Toro is, but we should be switching to our Electabuzz-based decks for the rest of the water gym.
I'm actually about to fight Amy.
Powered basic Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're on to Electabuzz here. Electabuzz, another great low energy cost attacker. Does 10 damage for 1 energy, which is not great, but it does do double against most of the water Pokemon. There are some exceptions like Poliwag, which are weak to grass instead, but the majority are weak to lightning. So 20 damage for 1's fine, and then 30 damage for 2 is excellent. We really like that, and you can even go as far as 40 damage if you get lucky on heads. However, here is the first sighting of Lapras. We do not like Lapras for many reasons. It's one of the more lethal Pokemon that we will see throughout the run for 2 reasons. Firstly, against Diglett, it 2-shots Diglett in most situations, which means setting up in the later fights is really, really scary when we're fighting Lapras. But the other attack it has is Confuse Ray. Confusion got fixed in later generations of Pokemon, but in the original version, you had to flip a coin to attack, and if you got tails, you deal 30 to yourself. That's still there to this day. But the other thing was you couldn't retreat. You couldn't retreat without flipping a coin. Retreating is when you pull your Pokemon back to the bench and swap it in with a new one. This is very important because it clears all status conditions when you do so. And when Confusion prevents you from swapping, it can lead to some very awkward situations. We can also use this to our advantage, because if we know we're going to get a tails on our attack, we can then reset the game, go to continue duel like we mentioned earlier, then try to retreat to burn that tails and then get one other shot at trying to get ahead. This can come up. This is one use of Duel Escape because the game remembers the RNG state it was in when you continued the duel, and we can use it to abuse coin flips mostly via advancing RNG through deck search, so another coin flip, plenty of different ways to try and give us a second chance in certain situations. With that, Toro has the first medal, which is excellent.
Very nice. So, using up the tails on retreat failure, if that situation were to come up, can be, it's not always a viable thing because you do still lose the retreat cost if there is one.
That's true. This is more relevant on Electabuzz than others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pokemon retreat cost is a mechanic where you have to discard energy cards to switch to your bench. And Pokemon like Hitmonchan and Electabuzz, their big downside is their 2 retreat cost. Dugtrio also has a 2 retreat cost. Some Pokemon that we'll be using, like Abra and Cypher, have no retreat cost at all, and they can deal with status like Confusion, hopefully, by retreating, depending on the status. But it is a high-risk, high-reward play to throw away your energy cards at a chance at curing Confusion.
Sometimes it can pay off, though, if you really need that one attack. Sometimes we're a little time limited on for various reasons, like just taking too much damage, so you have to go for that high-risk play. But you don't have to, and you can just eat more coin flips and whatnot. But the great thing about this is you have a lot more agency to manipulate RNG in your favor once you learn these manipulations, like coin flip, continued duel manipulations, coin flip manipulations. They're never guaranteed. The only thing that's guaranteed is mail manipulation, and even then, it's pretty precise, shall we say? Because it is in quotes frame perfect trick at, I believe, 30 frames a second. Although I can't remember the frame rate on a Game Boy Color.
It's I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, and this is was a bit of a debate when we first had this on, when this game first got ported to the Switch via Switch Online. And this is something I did not know, so someone correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the native original Game Boy Color's FPS initially was thought to be 60, but it's actually like 59 point something. And then the Switch version, got it to a firm 60 FPS, which technically that means the fastest version to play is the Switch version, but we have sort of made it so where we don't have to worry about like, oh, you know, one console has an inherent advantage, and we just like retime everything with a fancy little calculator that we have.
we just do some time conversions to make sure that all platforms that we can support are supported, and the Switch version is technically a little bit faster. Just a little minor difference there. One thing I did want to mention as we're starting to get into all of these different gym leader duels is that the gym leaders and the Elite Four in this game, one of the reasons they're harder is because they're cheaters. These trainers will always start with at least 2 basic Pokemon, and they'll always have at least 2 more basic Pokemon in the first 5 cards of their deck. So anytime that we're able to beat a gym leader taking fewer than 4 prizes, we're really getting away with something. So that's part of why our strategies are also prioritized around doing as much damage as possible very early in the game.
Sometimes you just can't avoid these things, though. The most notorious of which is Murray, the Psychic Club leader. If you ever get less than a 4-prize Murray, you are having a great day.
You've basically seen a shooting star. You basically won the lottery ticket, you know?
Yeah, and then on the opposite end, me, who in practice yesterday had a 7-minute Murray.
Let's hope we don't have any 7-minute duels at all today.
At all.
Certainly not Murray.
Or even 5 minutes.
Yeah, some fights in this game, they just will waste your time to degrees that you really never expected. Even though we know our game, we know and love our game dearly, sometimes it just decides, you know what, you're just not playing today. And that's just the whims of the game. Thankfully, we have a bit of control here against our rival, which we only have to beat once, thankfully. As you see here, Toronite using Magnemite to self-destruct and complete the duel early. Otherwise, this duel would be incredibly inconvenient to build a deck for. The 2 early rival fights have very stalling-y Pokemon that either reduce damage, paralyze you, just have way too much health, and we are so glad we do not have to do that fight, unless, of course, we're doing all battles, but that's not what we're doing today.
Gee, I wonder
there's no incentive to win that battle. All we get is a promo card that we don't use.
Yeah, for all battles, gee, I wonder what genius bright idea had to like, hey, why don't we also beat Ronald, all 4 variants of Ronald? Gee, I totally wouldn't be one of the runners in this race.
Yeah, what a silly category. Who could have ever come up with that?
And it's especially silly considering you have to go to a separate mini tournament that only spawns between certain gym club defeats during the game to fight through trainers you've already fought through, only to find the unique rival stationed at the end of the tournament that will cost you, 10 minutes of time to get to, more or less? It's so very out of the way.
Yeah, it's like about 5-6 minutes, but yeah, no. And not only that, it's that version of Ronald is, I would argue, the hardest version in the entire game. Because it's the only one with a semi-competent deck.
Yep. So for this part of the run, I think we're now both at kind of the mid-game of the run, where you get to see an early appearance of the star of the show, Dugtrio. Dugtrio is obviously good against a lightning gym, being a ground type that resists lightning, but it's also, because fighting and ground share the same energy type in this game, it's good against normal types, it's good against all sorts of different Pokemon, and that 70 base power Earthquake attack you'll see from Dugtrio is critical to beating the game.
And I think as we're kind of just entering this little segment of like the mid game, I think it's a great time for our host. If there's anything you would like to say, I think now's as good a time as any.
Any news?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. There's so much love coming in for this run. We have a $25 donation from 000AJ who says, good luck on the run, Toronite and Pinecone. It's great to see this fantastic game being run for such an important cause. May you both get all the Dugtrio you need and fuck ice.
Woo!
Shout out to AJ. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
Now, I was to say, shout out to AJ, just a literal pioneer of so many things that we use in this game to this day.
Yep. AJ is possibly the longest serving runner at this point. It's between him and me. It's between us two for sure, because we've been in the game for ages now. But AJ's a lot better at playing the game than I am, that's for sure. There's no question there.
Time for another?
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, wonderful. Well, we have a $228 donation from our very own Stump, who says $1 for each distinct card in the game, including the card pop exclusives. Ice's behavior proves that it is unreformable. Nothing short of full abolition will work. Thank you so much for the donation, and absolutely agreed. Everyone is coming together for such an incredible cause. We've raised over $26,000, and we are crushing the incentives. I'm so proud of everyone who's donating and who's making this possible to help others in need.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Stump and AJ, two absolute veterans of the Pokemon trading card game community. We're a small but resourceful bunch, a nice group of people. If anyone's interested in this game, feel free to check us out on speedrun.com and check out our Discord. And yeah, well said, fuck ice.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm at Murray. Anybody want to give a crack at trying to explain Murray? Just Murray in general.
Okay, so Murray is literally the most annoying fight in the game, hands down, mostly for time-based reasons, but actually can hold some lethality behind it. Right now, you're seeing Mr. Mime on screen. Mr. Mime is a terrifying Pokemon because it has one of the few abilities in the game, which is basically a passive, and the ability says, if you were to be dealt more than 20 damage, you take none. This is really inconvenient for Diglett, because Diglett can either do 10 or 30 without any other outside assistance. Thankfully, we bring Hitmonchan in here, just in case Mr. Mime repeatedly shows up. Problem with Hitmonchan is it's weak to Psychic, whereas Diglett is not. So it's a real... That's just Mr. Mime. The scariest thing about Murray is the amount of time you lose to Chansey, Kangaskhan, these well-known psychic types, of course, which have the most health in the game and will stall you for turn after turn after turn, especially the Chansey. And then on top of all of that, if he ever sets up Alakazam, you have to reset. There is no way around Alakazam, because all it does is move damage around the board in a favorable way, and then will knock out your Pokemon afterwards. It's just a massive mishmash of disgusting cards, all meant to waste time.
Okay, this is a bit of a tricky pickle that I'm in right now, because here comes the Mime and I have Dugtrio, so I have no choice but to have to unceremoniously leave Dugtrio into the bench. But thankfully, Murray did not put an energy on Mr. Mime, so I am somewhat safe for the moment.
Yeah, one of the benefits of Hitmonchan being Psychic weak is that the AI in this game is not particularly smart and goes, oh, there's a weakness to Psychic, I'll leave it in. Even though Hitmonchan is like guaranteed to knock out Mr. Mime after 2 turns, the game is just like, oh, that'll be fine. So that's why, if you're wondering why we use a Pokemon weak to Psychic in the Psychic Gym, it is for that reason.
It's also to avoid them attaching energy to specifically Chansey. Chansey has 2 attacks. One of them costs 4 energy and actually does damage, but the one we dislike is the one for 2 energy, which flips a coin, and if heads, they just don't take any damage next turn. It's really annoying. Really, really, really annoying, to say the least. Now, Toro is quickly coming up on the bonus incentive for Imakuni. Imakuni is a well-loved character, real life character, who comes along to conventions and whatnot dressed in what can only be described as their Imakuni suit. You'll see them in a moment. Very, very iconic Japanese person that's very beloved by us anyway. And they have one particular card in their deck, which is possibly the silliest card in the game.
I will happily do a dramatic reading of it if we encounter it. I don't care about the time
we
loss.
must.
It is absolutely worth the time lost sharing what that card actually says, because it is.
Frankly, I need to catch up. I'm about all behind. So if you want to lose time, go ahead.
Yeah, it's only one battle between you two, so you're pretty close. But yeah.
Oh wait, I'm not doing it ever yet. Oops.
And always remember, Imakuni's name is spelled with a question mark.
That is true.
It's very important that it's Imakuni. Or is
Not
it
the only
Imakuni?
question I have about. I'm not gonna lie.
Imakuni is how do we put this? A sort of hidden boss in the game.
Yeah, look at this card art. 10 out of 10. Beautiful. No notes.
That is Imakuni. That is a person who turns
Trainer
up
class
in.
strange life form.
Yep.
Ah, this is so annoying. The Psyduck is the worst. Oh, cool. It's even worse. Oh.
Are we actually getting a loss to Imakuni?
No, it's just
I would
going
love for
to.
Imakuni to be the reason I'm coming back in this race.
It's got Hyper Beam on. Energy removal.
Oh,
Please, for the love of. Give me an.
Oh no.
Wait, hold on.
Secretly, Imakuni.
No, wait,
one of
I got the
most
sauce.
lethal
I got the secret sauce.
turns out.
I got the secret sauce.
So Hyper Beam in this game, just for context, Hyper Beam in this game removes an energy from your Pokemon. From the Pokemon that is dealt damage. This is true across pretty much all the Hyper Beam variants across all the Pokemon. But yes, thankfully Mewtwo is one of the few Pokemon that can actually outpace Hyper Beam, because it can self-ramp itself some energy with its first attack.
Come on, don't. Wait, Imakuni. I lost to Imakuni?
Let's go, Imakuni!
Well, the incentive is beat Imakuni, so I think that means you gotta go again.
Oh, absolutely.
How does he draw Golduck and the first? Okay, I don't get this game sometimes.
Imakuni's got my back. Imakuni is my boy. I appreciate him so much.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna reset.
Yeah, you can dramatic reading now.
Oh yes. Now,
All right,
there's a
here it
flurry of
is.
things.
Imakuni, look at this beautiful, beautiful card out. Your active Pokemon is now confused. Imakuni wants you to play him as a basic Pokemon, but you can't. A mysterious creature not listed in the Pokedex. He asks kids around the world who is cuter, Pikachu or me. It is not a. It is.
My vote's Pikachu.
It is not a joke. Imakuni confuses his own Pokemon.
Truly a spectacular card.
And Imakuni will immediately play that card anytime he draws it.
He is hard-coded to use it. If he draws it, he must use it. That is the rules. And unlike potential future inclusions of cards down the line, there is no benefit to being confused. Absolutely none in this version of the Pokemon trading card game. Later on in life, you have Plorf, you have Hisuian Electrode V, that exist and enjoy having special conditions inflicted upon them. That's 2025 Pokemon, not 1995 Pokemon, as it were. Truly special.
I can't believe I'm actually forced to have to 6 prize Imakuni on a second attempt.
Well, I didn't have on my check marks Imakuni leveling the race out, but here we are.
That's fine. I think I still am just barely ahead now. Just barely.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the Imakuni fight, so yeah, anything could still happen. The Pokemon Dome in particular is probably the least predictable place.
Yeah, the Dome is the absolute great equalizer here.
Yeah, Dome Dome is the equivalent of our Elite Four in this game because this was based on Pokemon Red to some degree.
Yes.
You have clubs, which are legally distinct gyms, and you have the Dome, which is legally distinct Victory Road. But ultimately, it comes down to the same stuff. We're quickly approaching it, though. We've only got a few more leaders to go. And then we'll be in the hardest part of the game, because the Dome... I mean, we'll come to every single one of the fights. There are two in particular that are particularly scary. One that is possibly the worst deck construction the world has ever known. Another one which just takes too long to get going. And a third one which is sort of midway in between, I'd say. But two of them are extremely scary for different reasons. But we're not there yet. We're still knocking down the the club leaders. So we've got Mitch, which Toro's on right now. We've still got Rick, the Science Club leader, and Nikki, the Grass Club leader. As a side note, science encompasses psychic types, ghost types, poison types in the game, even though ghost types are merged in with psychic types and poison types are merged in with grass types. So that's what you'll be seeing coming up. But science was meant to be that sort of nerdy, techie gym. I believe... Does one of the trainers have Magnemite and Voltorbs or not?
No, they do not. The Science Club has Rick, which uses Mewtwo, Coughing Scrimers. Joseph uses Bird Pokemon. Eric uses Nidorans Eric uses Poison, and David uses Nidorans, and a bunch of other stuff that do not belong in an actual Nidoran deck.
Yeah, there are several trainers in the game where the developers clearly realized, oh crap, we have to use that Pokemon. We're literally, when we fight the trainer Brittany in a second, we're going to face a deck called Etc. that just has 20 different basic Pokemon of 4 different types. That was clearly where the developers just decided to put everything they forgot to use.
Yep, have fun drawing the right type of energy when you need it.
And at the same time, she manages to... Of the grass trainers, she's the one I least like fighting because there's no good way to cover what she has, and they can lose you a ton of time because all of them have some sort of coin flipping involved. And you've seen from the coin flips that have turned up across the run, it does take 3 to 4 seconds for every coin flip that happens. So these stack up very quickly, especially against her.
Right. I'm going through for Rick. I already went for Imakuni. I think now's a good time. Threach, if you got anything you want to say, I think now's as good a time as any.
Okay, wonderful. Now that we're through the Imakuni fight. All right, we've got a $5 donation that came in from Alara, who says, good luck to both our runners. This is such a fun run. Best to my friends in this run. Thank you so much for the donation. And we have a $100 donation from the Sound Defense, who says, I generally try not to swear when I'm speedrunning on stream, so I'm using this donation to say, fuck ice, stop ruining our cities and get out.
1000% agree. Okay, this is... Am I going to have to... All right, time to use good old handy dandy RNG manipulation by wasting a coin flip that's gonna go tails and just hope that it also... Oh, there we go. Boom. Rick, be gone.
So, just as there's a perfect demonstration of coin flip manipulation. There, Toro was confused, did have Gambler, which flips a coin to resolve its effect. So he wasted the tails that was destined to the confusion, and then got one other chance at hitting heads, which he did get, and so he gets through that fight one turn earlier than otherwise. I don't know what prize you are on, but every turn that you burn where it's just another chance for another basic Pokemon to come down, which will just waste more time and more time and more time. So in times like that, it's very, very good to try and get through them as quickly as possible.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna hit Professor Ogan. Oh, goody. Okay, I'm gonna wait. Brittany is the trainer of all time.
One of the trainers of all time, yes.
Really is.
Yeah, we actually kind of redid a lot of this route specifically for Brittany, because for a long time we didn't really have even an acceptable solution against Brittany, and we kind of just were like, hope we get lucky. But once we discovered Abra and Kadabra as a solution for the Rick fight, we kind of realized that none of Brittany's 20 random Pokemon happen to resist Psychic. Meaning that the general 50 base damage attack that Kadabra uses is able to cover almost everything Brittany has. That said, she still has a lot of Pokemon that flip a lot of coins, and it can be very challenging to beat her.
Especially for poor Abra. We do have to set up 3 energy on the Kadabra, and we've got to find the Kadabra. So this Abra on 30 health is very, very low, much like Diglett. And 3 turns can be a lot when Jinx does 20 per heads, Nidoran flips 3 coins for 10 damage each, Machop deals 20, so it's a very, very hostile environment for this Abra. But if you ever get Kadabra established, you pretty much win the fight on the spot. Which is as good as we're going to get against Brittany, because it's just a messy fight. The Charmander deck has the worst start against Brittany, because back when I was playing Charmander deck, you just had to pray between Digletts and Charmanders that you just could beat her down, and it just was very, very awkward.
Yeah. Fortunately, we're able to use little tricks here and there. Right in this battle, for example, I was about to lose to Jinx because Jinx flipped heads and would have KO'd Abra, so I went back in time and changed how I did my previous turn in order to give myself access to more cards to defend myself. This is one of many cases that we use Continue Duel to get ourselves out of jams and to blatantly cheat at the card game.
Yep, we do blatantly cheat, but the game cheats back at us with every single club leader, rival fight, and the entirety of Dome/Elite Four. So, you know, we feel somewhat justified in cheating back
Absolutely.
at them.
All's fair in love and speedrunning, you know?
Thankfully, this isn't the trading card game 2, where the fights are... If you think any of the fights in this game are scary, the sequel is even scarier. Pretty much every single fight is terrifying, more or less, because the decks are much more refined in the sequel. It is Japanese only. There is a translation patch out there, but this is child's play compared to the sequel, which is just downright terrifying. Every fight has a lot of energy removals, which slow you down. There's a lot of stalling Pokemon. It's just a lot scarier, and why this game is run a lot more, frankly, because it's just shorter, sweeter, and you have much more agency than the second one.
To kind of give like a very brief. Oh, Gloom. Oh, that's actually that could be dicey. To kind of give a Yu-Gi-Oh comparison, imagine this game is Sacred Cards for the Game Boy Advance, and the sequel is Rechef of Destruction, an infinitely harder version of the of Sacred Cards. Ooh, okay, I'm not in danger of losing this fight entirely.
Okay. So here, this is the one time we use, one of the few times we use Fire Pokemon in the run. We choose Ponyta and Rapidash because Ponyta has 2 good attacks, one which can be fulfilled for a double colorless energy, which just gives 2 energy instead of 1 when you attach it, and another one which is a bit more, but for 2 fire energy. For the most part, the damage just works perfectly for these grass fights. And half the reason why the Charmander deck was so used early on was because Charmander just dealt with the grass fights for the most part very, very well. And now that we pick the grass fights later in the run, we have more chance to have Rapidash and Ponytas in our deck, which just makes things so much smoother. Alright, here cometh the Dome. Toronite, it's just started the Dome.
Incredibly unlucky. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Oh my days. Have we got...
One Dugong and 1 Gyarados. Alright, Dugong, nope. Dugong, I need you to clutch up. Dugong, I need you to clutch. No Articuno.
No,
If you want
my.
computer packs, 7 and 11 are the Coliseum, by the way.
Wait, no, isn't Articuno from
Articuno would be mystery. Yeah, I'm not sure
mystery.
where to find those.
So for Courtney, this is one of 2 fights in the dome where we use water Pokemon. Courtney, because she's fire type, so we want to use water type. And the fight afterwards is also good to use water types on, which we'll explain in a moment. But we have 3 options generally when it comes to Courtney. Seal and Dugong is what we call the classic. It's old reliable. You will, I believe, you always have 1 Dugong, and you
That
will
is true,
definitely.
yeah. You always have 2 and 1, so that means Toronite was so unlucky he got none of either.
And Dugong's not even a rare card, it's an uncommon card, I believe. So you have quite a lot of chances to get it. But Toronite was unlucky there. Toronite was also unlucky to not get more Gyarados and Magikarps. I believe Gyarados is a more common card to see than Magikarp, to the extent where I believe one run of mine once had 4 Gyarados and 0 Magikarp, which was hilarious. And then the final Pokemon, which is the one we tend to prefer, is Articuno, one of the 2 Articunos in the game. Articuno is great because it's just very, very bulky and has good damage for its attacks. It's not the fastest thing in the world. If we wanted to go fast, we'd probably be on Dugtrio the whole way, but it is so much safer to run Dugong and Seal, because Seal is a 60 health Pokemon, and Dugong is 80 health, which is the same as Dugtrio. But the safety that Seal provides is so good that we tend to stick with that. And weakness helps in the first fight.
All right, I am.
Tomorrow, I only have 2 Dugongs, so we.
Oh, so you have twice as many chances of drawing it. I got incredibly lucky.
And I got a comp search too, so this might be my comeback.
I mean, I got incredibly lucky, unless Vulpix just, not. Okay, good. I believe I won. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the first of 2 scary fights with Dugong for Toro. Pretty much done.
No, the only Dugong fight.
Oh, you swapped
Yeah,
to...
we don't switch back, especially if we only have 2. We'll Dugtrio all the way from here on out, generally.
All right, so now comes one of... Oh, right, sorry, I forgot Steve was next. So, Steve is terrifying because although he's an electric deck, he has Zapdos. Now, Zapdos has 2 qualities which we dislike. One is it resists fighting, which is what we're going to be using. All of the legendary birds in this section resist fighting, but we still use Dugtrio because it just does way too much damage to ignore. The other scary thing about Dugong is it can knock you out before you play a card. Every time his signature Zapdos comes down, it does 30 damage randomly on the board. This ignores resistance, which Diglett has resistance to electric, which is why we love using Diglett here. However, because it gets ignored, you could just lose your Diglett without playing a single turn of Pokemon. It's that bad. Thankfully, Toronite's passed the first couple of
Okay. No, we just won.
Funnily enough, that Electrode there would be scary if... Jeez, 110.
Oh my.
That Electrode would be scary if the AI knew how to use it. It does have Sonic Boom, which does 30... I believe it does 30 damage. And
30 damage ignores resistance, but the AI doesn't know it ignores resistance, so it never tries.
Yep. If it knew about resistance, we would be terrified of it. But it doesn't know, so we're chill. As a note, all of the Elite Four are based on legendary birds and Dragonite. So we've seen Moltres. We're on to the Zapdos fight, and then the next fight is Articuno, following up with the whatchamacallit, Rod with his Dragonite as the final fight. Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres all resist fighting, which is not what we want, but their attacks are so slow to come out that generally we're not too scared of them. thankfully. And those 3 birds plus Dragonite are the, in quotes, legendary cards which we're trying to get and will receive at the end of the game. So that's the major plot point of the entirety of TCG1.
All right, if we're super lucky, I'll have a 3-turn Steve here. Yes.
Oh
Catching
boy,
up.
you're catching. I'm at Jack.
Not a single Zapdos in sight for me.
Oof.
That is incredibly lucky. A 2-prize Steve is exactly what we need to see to keep this race extremely close. So even though Toro's started and is looking good here, looking set to beat Jack, it still comes down to how many prize cards we take. Even if you're set up like Toro is with Dugtrio, with all the energy you need in the world, it still gets scary because Lapras can confuse you, and that's when things start to get very, very scary. Toro's looking like doesn't have many options to deal with this Lapras other than the old-fashioned way, 2-hitting it.
Okay, no, I may have an idea.
Okay.
Because Seal can only do a flat 10. So, and Chansey is not going to do anything. The only thing I'm in danger of is getting a very, very unlucky Dugong spawn, but I already have a second Dugong, which hopefully if the math works out, I should be... Okay, no, never mind. We kind of... Yeah, we are safe.
We're safe now.
Yeah, no, Jack is by far the hardest fight in the game. It is not even close.
The only contenders that come close are Amanda and Michael, which were fights we started right at the beginning of the game with, and the reasons for Amanda and Michael being difficult is because we don't have many options to deal with things. Jack is terrifying no matter which way you slice it. The thing is, because we use Dugtrio here, Dugtrio is so good against everything but the actual legendary birds. We use it. It just means that Jack is a terrifying fight because he has Lapras, which is terrifying to fight first, which can knock out Diglett in 2 turns when we're not ready to evolve into Dugtrio. He has, well, that's the biggest threat. But there's also background threats of Seal with a lot of energy can lead to Dugong, which can hit us for 50 plus damage. You've got Articunos that can deal that much too. There's paralysis, there's scoop ups, there's all sorts of nonsense that Jack can pull. So it's by far the hardest fight because it's just very, very tense the whole way through, unless you get extremely lucky.
Now, all that's missing is whether or not Ra decides to play ball and just not add any more Pokemon to the bench. Don't add any more to the bench. Okay, we won. We beat Rod.
Very nice.
Whew.
Yeah,
We're gonna sneak in any more donations is probably last call.
Yep.
All right, fantastic. I would like to let everyone know we have opened a new incentive for the Time Spinner run coming up later today. The incentive is to defeat the Fascist Emperor. Hooray! If we meet that, Waffle Soup will go even further back in time than planned and defeat the Fascist Emperor Volturalis. We need to raise $2,000 to make that happen, and we've already got $125 that has gone toward it. So get your donations in and make sure you apply them to that incentive.
Alright, I'll just have a quick mention on the final rival fight of the game, which is unironically the easiest rival fight of the game, for hysterical reasons. The rival decided, oh, I am now champion. I'm going to put all the legendary cards in my deck. That's a good idea. What he failed to remember is to put any energy other than fire in the deck, so Zapdos and Articuno literally can't attack. And the only one that's relatively scary is, in fact, the Moltres that is standing right in front of Toronite right now. Because it has an attack that can actually knock us out, which is a coin flip, and therefore terrifying.
Come on, 12.5% chance of getting 3 straight coin flips not landing. Come on. Unless I drop plus power or...
Toronite needs a plus power and a tails to get through here. Nope.
No, unfortunately.
No, that's a reset, unfortunately.
No, hold on. Diglett?
Oh, you've got one to... Oh, yeah. No, that could work.
07s.
07 for the Diglett, taking the Moltres dive bomb. Alright.
I need a defender right now. I need a defender.
Plus power
up on your tail.
No.
That's a reset, yeah. Worth a shot.
Well, they're both on the final fight here. Both of them are on Ronald here. with his legendary Ronald deck, and we are neck and neck to the finish. Time will be called once the screen goes to white after we pick up the legendary cards. I will say so when that happens, but it's a few seconds after the fight ends.
Ooh, okay. That's actually great that what Ronald just did. I don't have Gus. That's... All right, we've all... he basically used a card called... Oh, come on. Let's see if I can get out of this jam. Ronald used a card called Pokemon Trader, which, at the name implies, you trade away a Pokemon and to search out for another Pokemon. He took out his own Zapdos, or his own Moltres, just to get a Flareon out, which honestly is what I was hoping for.
Yeah, it's the AI cheating by rigging the top of the deck to give it the best Pokemon. It undoes its own cheating whenever it uses a search card. So seeing something like that is always a bit reassuring.
Yeah, there are some cheese strats that you can do involving Lass. If you're lucky to pick up Lass and lucky to open it in your hand, Lass, what she does is she looks at both traders' hands and shuffles all traders away. This can cheese fights. I think we've got Pinecone pipping Toro
wow.
to the post on the final fight.
Oh my god!
On the final fight, and I'm like done in like 20
That'd be the
and
best
like
game I've played in years.
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
Okay,
and meanwhile, I have to deal with every single legendary bird on this fight, but that's okay. We are, my victory is practically guaranteed. It's just, he's just gonna keep spamming the birds. Oh my goodness, okay.
All right. Coming up very soon.
All right, Ronald, you don't have to pop off now. Michael's already got this in the back.
And time. Time for Pinecone.
GG.
Still got it. Just needed the game to bail me out over and over again.
Cool. I'll take a third energy removal from Ronald. That's pretty cool.
I think this is possibly the worst Ronald I've seen in a long time.
Oh, for sure.
It's definitely up there for me.
And you might not even win at this rate.
No, I got energy remove. Well, actually, yeah, there's a chance I might not win it. No, I'm gonna will this into a win for me.
You got this, Toro.
Come on, Toro.
Really, 3 bills and no second plus power. I think that is fine.
Okay, it comes down to a coin flip.
Nope, never mind.
Oh, okay.
All right, fine. Take the drama out of it entirely. Cool. I don't make. That's fine. I have Gus of win. I have Gus.
To you, you know.
Yeah, Jolteon, I'm sorry. You're the unfortunate final Pokemon. Okay.
Gus of win.
There we go.
Yeah, so time is gonna be up for me in a second. Honestly, great race between Pinecone and I.
Race. We were pretty close back within 1 or 2 duels of each other the whole time, which is always nice to see. Roguelike games like this can be very chaotic, so being close to each other.
Yeah,
really
I think
good.
Yeah, and Pinecone finally gets the dub. So, bit of a backstory between Pinecone and I. As soon as it'll be time in 3, 2, 1, time. Bit of a background. So this is the 3rd race. Well, we've had more, but I'm counting this as race number 3 between Pinecone and I. The first one, including Rog, back in 2023. I won that triple threat match at another marathon, and then last year at AGDQ we had an offline race that I not only won and nearly PB'd to get a top 5 spot on the leaderboard, but the dome is the dome.
This is my first win against you, isn't it? Huh?
It is the first one.
That is.
It means we got to run this back at some point.
All right. If I could say something really quick, just want to thank everybody for bringing Toro and I on. Ice, abolishing ice has been an issue near and dear to my heart. I'm from Chicago, where they have been terrorizing us for months. I have family in Minneapolis, where obviously we've all read the news, and there's no place in a just world for an organization like ICE, which should be abolished and out of our cities. And I'd like to thank everybody in the trading card game community and in speedrunning as a whole for coming together very quickly to organize for this great cause.
Yep, I couldn't agree. I couldn't have said it better myself. I have some of my closest friends are in Minneapolis as well, and my heart goes out to not just everybody in Minneapolis, but everyone that is affected by this. What is happening right now is nothing short, but a pure, disgusting injustice on so many innocent people, and hopefully, we can, live in a world where we don't have to live in fear.
Absolutely. Well, you two guys put on a great showing. Really, really good runs, both of you. Glad it was close the whole way through. We've had some races where things go terribly wrong for one runner, but both of you had all the Dugtrios. Both of you got through that one scary Courtney fight without too many bruises. And yeah, no, finishing within a fight of each other, getting pipped at the post. Couldn't ask for a better race.
Yep, thanks everybody for coming together to commentate. I appreciate both of you, Raagentreg and Stump, for showing up on short notice to help assist and clarify some of the chaos you see on screen here. It's a bit of tough game to run.
Mm-hmm. And thanks very much to the organizers, really, really long-a-thon, for giving us the chance to show off the game, because, yeah, we love it dearly. As much as it doesn't love us back.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for the race. That was excellent. Well done, Pinecone. Thanks everyone for joining up for that.